Morning everybody, it's Pam Steele here doing my 36th blog and still on a little bit more on mental health as it's Mental Health Week and we're all going to be as kind as we possibly can. And so we talked about how we could effectively listen and what to do if we find that one of our friends is, maybe suicidal. So we looked at that this week, and a question that a lot of people ask me, and I suppose as a psychologist I think, I thought everyone knew that, but they asked me what the difference is between like a counsellor, a psychotherapist, and so what I'm going to do is to talk to you this morning about what the difference is between all of those people who can help with either talking or medication treatments. So let's start off first of all. That's me. I'm a counselling psychologist. I did a master's in counselling psychology, and therefore as a psychologist I mainly deal with talking therapies, and did for many years, and now obviously I do a lot of work with resilience. But if you wanted to see someone like myself, I am accredited with the British Association of Counselling and Psychotherapy, and have been for many years now. And what you do is you look up on their website and you see that they have counsellors, they have people like myself, they have psychotherapists, so and all with different specialities. So that's all written down in the therapist section of the British Association of Counselling and Psychotherapy. There is, so what I would always recommend if you wanted to see a counsellor or a psychotherapist or someone like myself is to check if they are fully accredited and registered. That means that they have had quite a bit of experience and are qualified as well. So that's all been checked by that authority. And the sorts of costs are around £40 to £60 per session. And normally you would just go for an assessment. It's as important for you to decide whether you like the counsellor as it is for the counsellor to decide whether it's appropriate for you to come and see them for counselling. A counsellor is someone who's also taken a counselling qualification and is also usually accredited and registered with the British Association of Counselling and Psychotherapy. And they would do, and as I do actually, quite a general range of different therapies. So a lot of work nowadays is done on what they call solution-focused therapy, which is maybe 6 or 7 sessions, and then and also that includes quite a lot of cognitive behavioural therapy as well. So if you find after those 6 or 7 sessions that you might need to go into things a little bit deeper, then you might be referred to a psychotherapist or a counsellor with what we call psychodynamic training. And that training is someone who gets more to the source of maybe early problems. So it could be early mental, physical, sexual abuse, or other traumas that may have happened within childhood particularly. And therefore you may, it's a lot of work that's done on building up trust, because if something awful has happened to you when you were younger, you have quite big defences and are very concerned that you trust the person you're talking to. So it's really important that that's built up, and it usually lasts for 6 to 12 months. So that's a psychotherapist, and you then get on to the psychoanalyst, which was very popular in the 50s and 60s, but has now been superseded really more by psychotherapists or counsellors. And but a psychoanalyst really is into intense, deep, getting back to childhood, early childhood, 3 times a week psychoanalysis, and can go on for years. And there is a concern that I certainly have with that as to whether you may become almost too dependent on that, but it's up to you entirely. The other sort of psychologists that there are, other than myself, are clinical psychologists, which work a lot of the time within the NHS or private hospitals, and they'll work a lot with cognitive behavioural therapy, and quite often they're working within employee assistance programs, as are counsellors and psychotherapists, where those programs actually offer limited, again, solution focused, maybe limited sessions of about 6 sessions, and they're mainly available for employees. So if you're in a medium to large size company, check out whether you've got an employee assistance program. It's a great benefit. It's paid for by the company, and also there's loads of other benefits like legal advice, carers advice, financial advice, all sorts of different things. So I mean, it's a free service for you if you are employed by one of those employers. And eventually we finally get on to the psychiatrist that everyone portrays in all the films and things. That is a medical doctor that's had additional psychiatric training. And they're the ones who do the treatment, drug treatments really. They can prescribe medication, and they tend to be the ones who are dealing with the more severe. Remember I said to you at the top of the pyramid there was the 1 to 2% that had the severe psychosis, manic depressives, schizophrenics, so the severe mental health problems, and that would be a psychiatrist. So, but generally most of you would only really require a counsellor or psychotherapist or a counselling psychologist, myself, and it would tend to be a once weekly session. And I think it's a great thing to look at to have more self-awareness and to look at any past problems or current problems you may have. I haven't mentioned relationship counsellors. That's another section which, if you have marital problems, which is also recommended. And I said, well, really, I always say to people, look, you know, why not you have an MOT for your car, why not have an MOT for your psychological health and your relationship health? So that's it. That's hopefully in a nutshell what all these different people are, like myself. And so I think that's going to be the end of the mental health. And tomorrow I'd like to talk a little bit more about what we're going to do in the next few weeks, which is rounding off chapters 9 and 10. And if you've enjoyed this and want to explain to others what all these different weird and wonderful people are, then please share this blog, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, have a lovely day.